G'day everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. So it is time to do this video once again where we predict the final 5 rounds of the home and away season and see where the ladder does lie. So we say every year on how close the competition is, but quite literally this year it's as close as it's ever been. You look between 2nd and 13th, a massive logjam. Still, anybody from the lower half of the table are definitely chances to make the top 8. So 5 rounds left. Let's give each game a tip and see where things do fall. So feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you do go on to enjoy. And let's get into it. Okay, so I know that I do the weekly tipping videos every single round. So these are just my early thoughts for the upcoming round 20. Recording this one on a Monday evening. So my thoughts might change when I do record my tipping video later in the week. But we'll just start off with the Blues and Port on Friday night. Port Adelaide sitting in 7th. This is a must-win game for sure to keep their season alive. They've been a little bit up and down, Port, but the Blues at home, they've also been vulnerable. Need to fix up on their defence a little bit. But given this is at Marvel, I'll tip the Blues here by 16. They usually put a number on them, and look how they went against them at Adelaide Oval. Really beat them and negated their midfield will. So we go Can't by 3 goals in this one. And then North versus the Cats. I like North's chances here because the Cats lost that game to the Bulldogs. If you can really eat their midfield alive, definitely a chance. They've been able to move the ball quite well North, but I just think Geelong, too professional of an outfit, have very good second halves of the year. They should win this one. We'll go down by 22. Gold Coast Brisbane. This is a huge game. The Lions, very spirited win last week. They were fantastic. Just played so well as a team. How do they go here, though, against the Suns? Because Gold Coast yet to lose at home this year. They did pick up that win over Brisbane last year whilst the Lions were in very good form. And that's when 𝐓𝐴, I'm pretty sure, negated Neil. So if they can negate Neil and Dunkley once again like Sydney did, I think the Suns can win it. And yeah, I think they'll continue the undefeated record. We'll go Suns in a thriller by 7. The Saints versus Essendon. 50-50 game in my eyes. Essendon having the better year, but the Saints, they can continue to be a thorn in good team sides like they were against the Swans not so long ago. So, oh, this is a tricky one. I've been very bullish on Essendon all year long with tipping. But I might go the Saints. Might go with them by 6. Melbourne and GWS at the G. Well, the Ds, I still think at their best they are a pretty damaging side, especially at the G. As for GWS, they've been an interesting one. The last 2 weeks with their wins against Gold Coast and Richmond, they've just been so efficient. But their midfield and their entry numbers haven't been so great. So, you know, maybe they could be due for a loss if they don't fix those things up. But, you know, they're just in good form, whilst the Ds were probably one of their worst performances last week against Fremantle, so Giants by 17. Fremantle versus West Coast, for sure this will be the Eagles' grand final, given their season is obviously over. And, yeah, the interim coach is obviously at the club, so just wanting to find the end of this season here, but definitely want to play their grand final. But not brave enough to tip them. I think the Dock is in sensational form. Losing Alex Pearce, though, hurts. Yeah, the midfield is rolling and loving their ball movement. Dockers by 25. Pies versus Richmond. Collingwood must win pretty much every single game should they make the 8. I think a lot more of their fan base is starting to realise that, yeah, it's just not their year. Injuries, form dips, and just a very taxing season. It was just brilliant how they played last year, and I think if you're a Pies supporter, you would be absolutely over the moon of looking at that list and you're still able to pinch a flag, especially with all those close wins last year. But look, I still think at their best, they can definitely win. They've played good footy throughout patches like they did against Essendon when they started off. But just from a 4-quarter perspective, they got eaten alive last week against the Hawks. So that could be the nail in the coffin. And the Tigers, their contested numbers have been pretty good. And they were very gallant against Port. But I think the Pies will find a way to win here. We'll go down by 6 in a close one. Swans versus the Bulldogs. This one very interesting. Sydney at home. You usually like them here. I think they'll be fired up. They'll be angry. Very, very gallant effort it was last week. So I could see them definitely bounce back here. But the Dogs, very inconsistent, but probably one of their better wins of the season. Their midfield just got on top so well. Rory Lobb behind the footy, intercepting very fantastically too. Fantastically, is that a word? I'm assuming it is. But the Swans with no Rowbottom, no McInerney. I don't even know if Mills comes back in. Hayward's not a chance. Papley's not going to play. Rampy's not going to play. Few outs here. I think the Dogs might pinch this one. Early thoughts, I might go with them. Another game under a goal. Oh, I can't tolerate it as a Sydney supporter, but I might go the Dogs by 5. The Crows and the Hawks at the Adelaide Oval. Tricky one here. I've been very bullish on the Crows this year. I'm loving their young guns in the moment. So Zach Taylor and also Billy Dowling too. And how about 𝐼𝙗𝐿𝐴𝐴 Fogarty? His numbers have been very good as of late. And Keys in the midfield, one of his best games last week. Do I go the Hawks though? I think I just got to back in the Hawks here. They're just high morale, and I think they can win anywhere with how they're playing. So I'll go them by 13. For round 21, Western Bulldogs taking on the Demons at Docklands. We'll start now to speed these ones up a little bit and stop talking too much with each tip. Dogs and the Ds. Probably go the Bulldogs here. Play well at Marvel. West Coast and Gold Coast. Surely this can finally be Gold Coast's first win of the season. It has to be. But I'm still expecting a bit of a dead cat bounce, to be fair, from the Eagles and maybe pick up at least one more win of the season. But I'll go with the Suns here. Go them by 14. North and Richmond. With how the Tigers are playing with that competitive and contested brand, I think they'll probably do a number here in North. Yeah, I'll probably go them by 11 points. The Cats playing the Crows at Kardinia Park. I think Adelaide played 𝐓𝐡𝐞 okay the last few times. But I just think here the Kitty Cats will be too good and win by 13. Collingwood and Carlton. Oof, big game this. Looking like potentially could be Collingwood's season over, but Carlton and Collingwood, both these sides do turn up. We'll go the Blue Zone, a close one by 7. Port Adelaide and Sydney. Swans haven't been in Port since 2016. Do I think that will change? I'd like to think so. But Port Adelaide at home, I'm going to go with here. We'll go there by 12. GWS taking on the Hawks at Manuka Oval. Down there in Canberra. Because this one's in Canberra, don't mind the Giants here. Hawks' contested game's been great. But are they really going to win every single game for a amount of the year? I mean, they could. Like, they're genuinely playing that great. But might go against the grain here. I think the Giants, just with their efficiency and prowess, find a way. So we'll go them by 7. Essendon taking on the Dockers at the MCG. Bombers for an upset, I reckon. Ooh, yes. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit of an upset because at the G, we'll go them by 7. Or go them by 8. St Kilda and Brisbane at Docklands. Brisbane should be too good here, I reckon. We'll go them by 20. Low scoring affair though, but they run away with it. Swans versus the Pies. I think this one's Friday night at the SCG. I don't know. I still think Collingwood can definitely play some good footy from this point onwards. But I just think the Swans at home should be too good. So we'll go the Swans by 20. Brisbane taking on the Giants at the Gabba. We'll go the Lions here at home. 14 points. North taking on West Coast. This one's a toughie. I think North played Tassie pretty well, so we'll go the Kangas by... We'll go them in a close one by 9. Fremantle versus Geelong at Optus. Liking Freo here with the home field advantage. Midfield, I just think long-term from this point onwards is really going to help them pushing deep into September. Still got questions on Geelong long-term, so I think Freo win this one well by 25 points. Essendon versus Gold Coast at Docklands. This is round 22. I've got to go with the Dons here again. We'll go them by 14. Suns yet to win away from home. Melbourne versus Port Adelaide at the MCG. We'll go Port here. We'll go them by 8. Resilient win. Carlton taking on the Hawks at the MCG. Massive game this. First 2 times both sides are playing each other this year. Hawks need to win this to push in the finals. As for the Blues, need to win this to stay in the top 2. But I think the Hawkies here, they've been able to play well on the big stage so far this year. So I'll go them by 11 points. Richmond taking on the Saints at Docklands. I don't mind the Tigers here, to be honest. I still think, surely they seek one more win. I think I might go the Tigers. Might go them by 10 points. Just with how they've played, especially against Port, surely they get at least one more win this season. Crows taking on the Bulldogs at the Adelaide Oval. Might go Adelaide here in an upset. We'll go them by 6 points. Go round 23, Essendon taking on the Swans at Docklands. To be fair, I'm feeling a little bit of an upset with Essendon here. They play well at Marvel. Swans not so, but I think my Swans nuffiness will sway me towards the Swans here by 8 points. Gold Coast taking on Melbourne. That's Carrara up there in the Gold Coast. Yeah, I've got to be the Suns there. I reckon they'll win this one well by 21. GWS and the Dockers in Sydney. Now, they pummeled Fremantle here last year. But I think Fremantle away from home should find a way. Yeah, they're building at the right time, I think. We'll go them by 14. Collingwood and Brisbane MCG Grand Final rematch. Do I go the Pies? I think I might go Brizzy. Go them by 15. St Kilda and Geelong at Docklands. Saints beat them here last year. I think that will be a thorn and good team sides. I reckon they could be leading this one for quite a bit, but the Cats to run over the top, win a close one by 9. Port Adelaide and Adelaide. I think I just got to go the Crows here, eh? They just absolutely destroy them every week in, week out. Oh, not week in, every single straight down these past couple of times. So I got them by 20 points. Bulldogs taking on North Melbourne, still in round 23, remember. The Doggies, surely. To keep their season alive and push back up into the 8. We'll go them by 21. Hawthorn and Richmond, another rematch. This was obviously Dusty's 300th not so long ago. And yeah, reverse fixture. I think Hawthorn should win it once again win it well by 30. West Coast and Carlton at Optus Stadium. The Blues should be too strong. We'll go them by 36. And now we enter into the final round of this season. So hypothetical-wise is what it's looking like. We've got Port in 8th. Hawthorn also tied 8th as well, but they're currently out with percentage. The Dons, Gold Coast, Melbourne, Collingwood. So if we look here, Gold Coast, Essendon and Hawthorn can all compete for finals, but Melbourne and Collingwood and Adelaide are out. As for the top 4, I think anybody of these sides, the Dogs can still make top 4 here. The Giants cannot with that percentage, I don't think, unless there are some crazy margins. And yeah, the Cats can still push. So let's see how we go here. So we start Brisbane versus Essendon. The Dons got to win this. Do they? They did actually beat the Lions here, I think 2 years ago at the Gabba. But just given this is a big game, I feel like Lions in these big games, especially towards the pointy end and the ends of seasons, usually go quite well. So I think they'll just be too classy and they'll end the Don season here by 15. And they move up into the top 2 for now. Unless if the Blues are able to beat the Saints here, they will get a home qualifying final. Do they do it? Knocking off St Kilda here? I say no. I think the Saints here, they're going to pinch it. Ross Lyon, the Grinch. They play sometimes pretty good footy against them, so I reckon they'll deny those chances and Carlton will have to play the Lions up there in Brisbane. Geelong and West Coast at Cardinia Park. We're going to go... Cats here easily. 40 points. Especially final round of the season. Those lower ranked sides sometimes don't play as good footy. So the Cats push up into the 4 with Fremantle and the Dogs still a chance. Fremantle the only chance to make the top 4. The Hawks and also North Melbourne. Hawks here. Final game of the round. And down there in Tassie, they should win this by 4 goals. They'll push up into 6th place. Melbourne and Collingwood, both teams can't make it. I'll go with the Pies here. Finish off the year well. Maybe by then they'll play a few more kids. Finish their season on a high note. We'll go them by 20 points and they have their measure too. They play well against the Demons. Richmond and Gold Coast at the MCG. Now, this will be a very Suns thing to win this game, even though... they could still make the 8 here. But I reckon the Tigers will pinch it by 2 points, 3 points, and end their season. Just can't trust the Suns, unfortunately. I'll have to see make the 8, but I just don't have that trust with these tipping. And then in Sydney versus Adelaide, Crows could give them a bit of trouble, but Swans heading into the pre-finals bye, I think they should combat this well, but with their class win it by 17 and finish on top spot. Western Bulldogs taking on the Giants at Mars Stadium. So Port Adelaide could make the 8 here. There are still a chance. This is a big game, so whoever wins this one could get a home Elam final. Especially the Giants. Especially the Dogs, because they do have the percentage. Given that's at Mars, good venue for them, I'll go them by 10. They'll play a home final. And as for the Dockers taking on Port Adelaide, Ooh, I think Fremantle pinch it. Port give them a bit of trouble sometimes, but yeah, the Dockers, I think, yeah, for top 4, they won't mess around and win this one by 11. So now they move into 3rd place. Sorry, that was the final game of the round. And there we go. So Port had to win that to make the 8, and I had them dropping it, so they miss finals. And that's what it looks like, everybody. There is a top 8. Top 4, Sydney, Brisbane, Freo, Carlton, Geelong, Bulldogs, Hawthorn, and GWS complete the top 8. It's a big log jam, and there's a lot of 50-50 games when doing those tips. But yeah, those are just really some of my thoughts. I think, yeah, Essendon, they've got to have a few scalps. I think they've got to knock off the likes of Sydney and have some statement performances. They should get back in Darcy Parish. So that's going to be important. As for Port Adelaide, they're just hot and cold, so they've got to really hit form at the right time. Get back a bit of dominance in that midfield and move it well from their back half. That's when they're very good. Gold Coast, I'd love to think they're a chance, but away from home still have trust issues. I think Collingwood's, you can't really see that bounce back with how they've dropped that game against Hawthorn. Just think that's the final nail in the coffin. I mean, that Freo loss for the Demons just says enough. The Crows were a very slim chance anyway. Yeah, the Tigers get get a bit of a dead cat bounce and avoid being in last place, and then North finishing in the final spot, and the Eagles in 17th. So now let's do a quick finals run through. So the Swans and the Blues at the SCG. Carlton got to really bring that midfield dominance, but if we're looking at this one from an early preview, I just think Sydney, with that pre-finals bye, they'll get back in a few names too, like Papley, McEnany probably by then. Swannies in a canter. Elimination final, Geelong taking on the Giants at the MCG. I love to think GWS a bit of a chance here. I might go with them. They play elimination finals pretty well, and I reckon they can just outrun the Cats here. So they'll play the Blues in a semi-final. Dogs and the Hawks here. I'd love to think Hawthorn could do a Collingwood of 2 years ago and go all the way, or at least to the prelim, sorry. But at the same time, something's just feeling me they're going to fall just short and lose a heartbreaker, and the Dogs will march on and win the Elam final. And Brisbane versus Fremantle here. Dockers, who knows? Like, they could definitely finish in 2nd place with that win they had over the D's. But if we're looking at if this is the qualifying final, Brisbane at home, I reckon, and they go into a home prelim. Semi-finals, Carlton and also the Giants will go with the. We'll go with the Blues here, surely. And as for the semi-final, Fremantle and the Bulldogs, or could the Dogs do a 2016 run? I think Fremantle at home, they'll run into some tracks, and yeah, Freo do it there. And then the prelim finals, Sydney, Freo, Brisbane and Carlton. I think the Swannies at home get it done. They'll learn their mistakes over that loss not so long ago. And Brisbane, prelim final rematch this. I don't want to be too reactive, because with that win Brisbane had not so long ago, and they've won 6 in a row, are they just going to keep on winning, go all the way into a grand final? Because we're still going to remember Carlton, when they get the game on their terms, they're a bloody good side. But I think I'll go with Brisbane here. So it's going to be Swans and Brisbane grand final. It's very reactive, but I think this is what I'm going to do. So Swans and Brisbane. Would we win the flag? I'd love to think we can. I mean, it's just an early tip. I'll go with Brisbane. I just think their experience in their class. Usually, when you lose a close grand final, you can win it next year. I just think them, to be frank. But I'm still, as a Sydney supporter, I'm still very bullish. Should we make the grand final? But yeah, that's just a bit of a blind finals predictions there. But the main thing was, this is what I think really the top 8's going to be, with the final 5 rounds of the games that I have tipped. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me, everybody. Definitely will cause a lot of debates. Any of these teams really in the top 13 can push for the finals. So let me know who you think are going to make the 8, who's going to drop out. Love to hear your people's opinions down below in the comments. So that is pretty much it from me, everybody. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did go on to enjoy today's video. And until next time, I will talk to you later. See you later, fellas.